Staggs and Steph Swope of Minnow Mountain. Can we get a round of applause? Anywhere, grab a seat right here. So folks here have heard of things like Undone. Woo! Very nice. Just renewed for its second season. Congratulations. The Emmy Award-winning Tower. And the lords of rotoscoping. Really turning it into really Austin's own incredible art form. So interviewing is often, from my previous life, interviewing is kind of a battle between the interviewer and the interviewee. This is more of a conversation. However, there is a little thing I like to do before some interviews, and because this is kind of a family game night with the motion artist community, we're going to play a really quick round of a game called Super Fight, which I don't know if you've heard of. It is a game of absurd and insane arguments. Be super quick, but basically what it's going to be is I'm going to give you each a character and 2 powers. You will each have a character, 2 powers. I will have one as well, and then we will have an absurd battle in conversation. So,
sounds good.
So, starting with, pick your character. Hold it close, pick your character. I will pick my character. And then you get 1, 2 powers. 1, 2 powers for you, 2 powers for me.
These are just dirty pictures. It's just a whole deck.
I didn't get dirty pictures.
Oh, yours are just dead animals, so it's weird.
Craig, if you could tell the audience at home, who is your character, what are your powers?
Mr. Rogers
Excellent.
is my character, and my powers are nearsightedness. I'm armed with a sadness ray, much like the real Mr. Rogers.
This is really like you.
So, nearsighted Mr. Rogers armed with a sadness ray versus
Conan.
Conan.
I'm assuming Conan and not Conan.
That is up to you.
It's not specific.
You could be Arnold, or you could be a 7-foot-tall carrot top comedian.
I always wanted to be a 7-foot tall carrot top.
You do you. And what are your powers?
I can clone myself, but each clone is half as smart as the previous. And I have a beard made of bees.
Conan, beard made of bees, and every clone that they create is half as intelligent. I am Jack Bauer of 24 fame. I rely on heat vision to see, so predator rules, apparently. And there are 3 of me.
So multiplicity rules.
Yes, there are 3 of me that can only see with heat, and is Jack Bauer. And so what I'm going to start with as Jack Bauer, I only have 24 hours to defeat you, but I'm going to basically, you have a sadness rate, you're Mr. Rogers, you're wearing a sweater, you're warm, I can spot you. I know where you are. I surround you, 3 of me coming at you at once, we are going to take you down.
Yeah, but I bet I can get like 30, 35 minutes of you moping with my sadness ray. I'm just thinking about stuff. Like, what did you do to that dude with the kneecaps and he was a terrorist, but maybe he wasn't?
So,
Did your mother really ever like you?
So suddenly a very depressed Kiefer Sutherland, very on brand. There are 3 of me wandering around, very depressed. And being reliant on vision to see through the tears becomes very difficult. At which point, I assume Conan, with his beard full of bees, is going to make the move.
I mean, obviously, if you can see with heat vision and there's a beard of bees, how can you possibly know where the bees all are?
It'd just be like a cloud of bees.
Cloud of
It's
bees.
just a cloud of hot.
So Kiefer's getting stung.
And sad.
Was sad and stung.
And stupider the more of it.
Well, that's you. Like how many
Oh, shit!
stupid clones are being developed? Although there are 3 of
I'm
me.
getting stupider and
How much
stupider.
intelligence do you actually need to hurl beards of bees at a depressed Kiefer Sutherland?
Not that much.
Okay, so at this
It's a
point,
pretty easy weapon to deploy.
yeah, it seems to be. So at this point, I think I am dead. So at the end of the day, now it is a Mr. Rogers armed with a sadness ray nearsighted, so might not see all of these stupid clones of
Yes.
Conan coming.
And I will admit now that I lied about the nearsightedness, and I'm actually in a helicopter.
Interesting twist.
Yes. Y'all weren't, see, Mr. Rogers, they used it against you. He's a lying bastard, everybody knows that.
It's true.
So, yeah, so helicopter versus bees.
Bearded bees have a hard time attacking a helicopter, I
I mean,
sorry, not
So
bearded
much
bees,
bigger.
bees of beard. So at this point with the helicopter, I'm afraid that I will let the audience choose. Is the winner of this super fight going to be Mr. Rogers with apparently a helicopter and a sadness ray, or Conan, who can clone himself, but each one gets stupider, and a beard of bees? Wait. Okay, I think the bees have it.
never underestimate advocating
Never
for yourself.
Underestimate.
Freelancers everywhere learn that lesson.
And I don't deserve to win because I lied. Politics.
We always try to provide a deeper message here at the Signal event. Thank you so much for joining us. I think now we are going to play a little something something. So Ryan,
Cartoons.
be so
There are
kind.
some swears in our reel, so
There are swears, so please cover your ears. It's
Swears in our demo reel?
we say fuck a couple of
That's
times.
pretty
and
unprofessional.
shit and think ass. Look at pretty pictures. Yes. This is a trailer for our show Undone. It's on Amazon Prime right now. Woo! Just this week, we got the green light for season 2. Very exciting, y'all. We've been dying to find out.
I apologize for the audio problem. Just imagine someone saying fuck over and over again.
That's how it is. Yeah, that's exactly it.
We'll plug in momentarily while we're plugging in the tape. What has been the best part about working on Undone, frankly?
I mean, learning how to work with a larger team has been the funnest part. It's been really hard, but it's been fun too.
How big of a team worked on this?
20 animators and then 4 of us production staff. All of our production staff is here. Rachel and Trevor. And then a couple of our animators are here. Jimmy is here and Justin Montgomery is.
Yeah, you guys all raise your hand if your crew on Undone is. These guys worked really, really hard. And they had a good week this week. Yes.
Oh yes, Justin is also involved in some of the art that's out here too.
He was-
Multi-talented artist.
He's involved in it by making it. So, yeah.
Is any of the art for sale? The art is for sale.
Yes, by art.
By art. We are getting closer.
I know, look, you guys are so fast.
So one, I personally wanted to thank all of you for giving us an animated Bob Odenkirk, which I think the
Oh,
world
man.
desperately needed.
We needed it.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
You're welcome, world.
I've been a huge fan of Bob Odenkirk since Mr. Show, so it was thrilling to animate him. Fingers crossed.
Same bed, I get dressed,
Yay!
and I eat the same breakfast, and then take the same commute to work. I'm 28 years old, and I'm terrified. This is all there is.
Dad. Is this a dream?
Well, partly.
I know 2 weeks is a long time for me to be away.
If you're feeling weird about anything, just come talk to me and we'll figure it out.
You don't need to worry about me because I'm pretty much okay.
Pretty much.
You're fine, right?
I just feel like everyone's messing with me.
You're acting even stranger than usual. You usually act even stranger than usual. But since the accident, you have been acting more even stranger than usual.
I'm seeing my dead father,
I wasn't in an accident, I was killed.
And he's training me to travel in time
With your ability, we can change what happened.
so I can save him from being murdered.
You're pushing yourself too hard.
what are you doing to me? I can't do this. I can't keep ending up places, seeing stuff and missing things.
It's all about your emotions. You need to feel them without letting them become you.
How do I do that?
Just deep breaths. Hey, baby cakes. Streams of lifetimes of suffering are carried through your mind and body. Even the good feelings. You have to let go of those too. They can't be who you are if you want to be free.
Of course. The only one in my family who believes in me is the dead one.
For now.
So first of all, almost literally everything about that is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Although the first thing is like, from the producers of BoJack Horseman, nothing,
Yes!
nothing like BoJack Horseman whatsoever. We have a second video.
We have 4 videos.
Four videos.
We're video rich.
Keep it in.
This is our About video.
Hi, I'm Craig, and this is Steph.
And we're Minnow Mountain.
And we're here today to share with you a breakdown of Minnow Mountain's hand-drawn performance capture animation.
This is the process we've used on feature films such as Tower and animated series like that.
But first, meet the team. And I think we can skip to number 4 on that, and I can introduce it. We have a number 4, right? The clip.
Yes, we do.
And so this is like my favorite scene in Undone. And what we've done is just we output the scene with just the rotoscoping line work, so you can get a sense of what we do at our studio before we ship the animation to Amsterdam for coloring and composite.
Maybe you're right. Maybe we're just 2 girls with a dead dad and a crazy grandmother, and we're just destined to hurt people. You know, if Reed really knew who I was, there's no way he'd love me. He wouldn't even like me. And I worked so hard to get into this tight-ass dress.
Of course he would still love you. Who could help themselves? You're totally lovable.
Should I tell him before we get married?
Jesus Christ, you want to tell him now?
God, the guild is eating me up. I can't go out there. Like, it's gonna pop out of me. They're gonna say, Becca, do you? And I'm gonna say, fuck bartenders? Uh-huh. Yep, sure do.
Okay. Do you want to marry this guy?
I do.
Well, then marry him. And then go to counseling. I don't know, but you can't tell him before the wedding.
I just feel so bad.
And you should feel bad because you cheated on your fiance.
I know.
But that doesn't mean you should make him feel bad. He didn't do anything.
Okay, all right, then after the wedding.
Way after. You gotta enjoy this day. This is your day.
I'm just so sorry. You know? I'm sorry.
I know, babe.
Would you walk me down the aisle with Mom? You know, because Dad can't be here?
Becca, I would love to. Come here, you. We can't really move in this dress. No, it's really firm. You're very firm.
It's very tight.
Cry and then laugh.
So,
And that's it. So thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you, yeah.
so as somebody who is not an animator, but a huge fan of animation and cartoons, why is this style so viscerally, emotionally impactful? Like, that just grabs you by the throat, and there's something about the movement, there's something about the eyes. Why does this work so freaking well?
I mean, you have to give the actors due, because you're seeing a lot of the actors' performance. So a lot of what we do is stay out of the way of the actors. But also, our animators, and we were just talking about this with one of the animators, it's an empathetic and performance-based type of animation. So we're overly concerned with the emotion of the character and the psychology of the scene. And you can see it in the faces of the characters. That emotional complication that starts in the script, moves to the actor, and then is the work is done in the animation too. So I think that's the biggest difference, is the emotional impact you get in that collaboration between the animator and the actor.
And I feel like I've seen a ton of motion capture, facial capture, all of that stuff. It doesn't have the same emotional punch that this does. And I don't know if it's because of the organic nature of the lines, the color, the eyes, like everything in there. Like I wish I could just fundamentally understand why it is as cool as it is.
It's the human element.
Yeah.
It's because it's human animators interpreting the emotion that the human actors are doing, and there's not any computer business really involved in it. It's all just people.
I think a lot of the reason is why the story is told. If you're telling a story that's, robot domination of a sci-fi universe, you don't need the emotion. If you're telling a kung fu story, it doesn't require that level of psychological performance. But in a story like this, that's about psychology and about emotion, and in something like Tower, which was about memory and emotion, you need a more psychological approach. So everything is kind of built from the ground up to end up at that place. People always do that to me. You should see. So I'm in like teleconferences with producers from all over the world, and I'll say something that to me is a very normal thing. Dead silence. And they're paying by the minute, right? So yeah, that's
fair. That was you, not me. Entirely.
I can go.
I think the closest I have to using emotion when going into something in this realm of artistic expression is with editing, video editing. Editing the music, knowing that the cut goes here. Why? Because this is where the cut goes.
Right, it feels right.
Yeah, it feels right. And so thinking about how that translates into a line, what line you're choosing to use in the expression of the rotoscope may change as the scene goes because it feels right. Like, is it that into it? Like, y'all are the ones that did it. Is that, am I explaining any of this correctly?
You are.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a lot of feeling that goes into that, and you'll see when you walk into the animation studio and say someone is working on a shot where the character is making kind of a puke face, and then the animator is making the puke face.
She means nausea.
They're making the same face that they're making on the character right then, and so it's very much that human moment, that knowing when the time is right for the cut. It's the same thing. It's knowing when the line is right. It's part of what we hire for, that emotional intelligence too. Acting as an animator.
I also like the amount of money that's pouring into animation right now with all of the streaming services and everybody, either buying yet another anime from Japan or commissioning, say, Smash from Powerhouse or the new He-Man or Castlevania or the second season of She-Ra, and all of this stuff. Does this scale? How much, this is so labor intensive, this is so much involved, and this is so Austin, this is so unique to what's been
No other company can scale it.
Can you
Just
scale
us.
We can scale it.
Hell yeah.
No other company can scale it. Just
Only us.
Yeah, just us.
So this is an art style, this is an animation style that, from Scanner Darkly to Tower to now with Undone is Austin, is Central Texas, is what this community is, what you have created. It's hard to think of that many genres in our realm that legitimately we own. So well done there.
Thank you.
How do we do more?
I mean, I think the space is open because the entire market is open. So that little space for Scanner Darkly 15 years ago has just become broader. And so that's what I think the space is for. You've just got more spaces to put funny little movies. And these are funny little movies. Now, animation fans, we don't want to think of them as that. But in the mainstream, people think of them as funny little movies. And this is the golden age of funny little movies.
But this is the era when funny little movies can become large genres, with a diverse and giant catalog behind them. Why do we have to have yet another, CW superhero show done live action in California when it's from a comic book genre? Why can't we have this?
Exactly.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
Can we?
And
Can I help?
yes, you can. And we are scaling and can, the company is essentially only just us two, but not really, right? Because we've got more people involved. We've got our assistants, Rachel and Christopher here, who are now part of the company. And each time we do a project, it grows. And each time it gets bigger and bigger. And the idea being it never stops. And we just always continue. Between projects, we scale down and we scale back up.
And I think that the pipelines too, like our pipeline for Undone includes, although rotoscope is the big marquee, hand-painted, oil-painted backgrounds on canvas. The background work, there's a ton of 3D compositing. The vehicles were done in like a 2.5D space. So, and even in the live action shooting, we could not have shot as much live action footage as we shot if we didn't have a digital workflow. So in kind of, it's scalable, I think, because you're starting to increase the level of collaboration you can get from 3D, from traditional media, from animation, from live action shooting.
So it's really, and the talent base is here for that mixed media, collaboration.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Well, I think the talent's here, but also because working now in media can be so dispersed. So yes, the talent is here, but it doesn't preclude you from working with artists in Europe. It doesn't preclude you from working from other.
Which is funny. This feels like the first, animated anything I've heard of that you're sending it to Amsterdam and not to Korea.
Right.
Right.
And the company in Submarine company in Amsterdam is who produced. They did the color and the compositing for Undone. So shot in Los Angeles, rotoscoping, character work done in Austin, and the color and compositing done in Amsterdam.
They also painted thousands of oil paintings for the backgrounds. Dutch oil painters.
What happens to those paintings after they're
right? Various warehouses. A lot of them are hanging at Tornante and Submarine, but there is just a warehouse with.
I think Rosa Salazar got a couple.
Yeah, she did actually take a couple straight from the walls.
You didn't bring any with you. There's no samples.
No, we don't have any.
We did not know.
Fair enough. All right. So not that having a second season isn't big enough news, but are there any other cool projects? Any other? What else is in the pipeline? What can we look forward to?
Nothing we can announce publicly, but we have had some fun meetings in the last few weeks, so we hope to have a busy year.
We have some exciting things that are coming up that are super secret and can't talk about yet.
All in the entertainment space, anything in advertising-ish?
Largely all in the entertainment space.
Have you ever seen as much money flowing into content as you're seeing right now? It's weird day.
It's crazy. It's awesome. I mean, we want more of it. Like, it's a huge
Yeah, we like the money
chunk
flow.
that's happening. Yeah, I love what's happening with television and animation, and give us some more of it.
Yeah, like
Let us
what's
go
the?
crazy.
I mean, is that? I don't know that it's bringing costs down. Like I've been hearing. I don't know what this costs a minute versus traditional animation, which I've heard, $50,000, $100,000 a minute in terms of the animation works. Do these kind of? Is this style of production more, less, or just different in terms of cost effectiveness?
Different. It's because the pipeline was largely created for Undone. It really doesn't have like a sister production. It's so unusual. I mean, in the full range of series to feature films, it's probably pretty close to the middle. But for television animation production, it's probably on the higher end.
Have you done any games work with this style?
No.
I mean, this seems to like lend itself to VR gaming, just I think, personally.
I would be interested in it. No one's approached us about it yet, though. So
Any
if anyone
game
here
designers
wants
here?
to talk about it,
We're just super. Steph and I are movie fans, and we kind of live and breathe television and movies. So we just haven't really branched out into any spaces like that.
Just movies or cartoons too?
Cartoons too.
Favorite cartoon?
Oh, animated cartoon?
Yes.
Easy. Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, no doubt.
Steph?
Archer probably.
Ooh.
I like Archer a lot, so.
Very nice.
Was I supposed to choose a movie?
I
Okay, good.
have no dog in that fight. Questions from the audience that don't work for them. Or that do. No, that's fine. It's
Our
open.
ringers.
Legitimately open to everybody.
What does Justin want to know?
Just when we start back again.
I would like to know that too. Chimmy?
Where's my money?
I would like to know that too. Rachel?
Yeah, they don't tell you. They just they give you the good news and they have no details. So you just kind of stew for, I don't know until somebody,
Brian has a question.
a higher pay grade tells us.
Seeing the way a scene develops, are they doing things in the edit sometimes where they're combining performances, where they're looking at a performance from one shot, and they do that? Do they deliver that to you as like one plate, or are you getting individual plates of them if they like one thing a little better than another?
Not too often. Usually they try to go with the scene that they shot. It just goes a lot better if you think ahead and plan your shoot it right, and then edit it the way you planned it. It just goes a lot better. I haven't seen a whole lot of that, but that doesn't mean that we can't do it.
Yeah.
Totally cut.
And yeah, so watching the episodes in that live action cut is very similar to watching the flow of the episode. So 99% of the time they're on the same set shooting just like you would on live action, even over the shoulders and the reverses, and shot largely chronologically, one episode at a time. I think that was because you're in a black box space. You're not shooting on a set, so the actors, the chronological shooting kind of kept the actors. You're now in this location, and now we move to this location.
Black box set meaning there was no other set pieces than just on black, or like in terms of the rotoscoping of this, it's not shot on green screen, it's shot in the black, so they literally have to go in and cut frame by frame by frame around everyone?
We're moving to a green screen this year, but it's mostly for so that we can visually see. We're not doing some compositing. There might be some, but it's mostly for lighting purposes. But no, the first season we shot is largely shot in the production office and Tornante's office in Los Angeles. And the reason why is because we don't require any set. If you have a chair, you bring in a chair from the writer's room. and everything else is composited in. So you're able
props, what they're holding,
hand props,
hand
yeah,
props,
hand props, but production design is completely digital. And so it's yeah, you have to build the little world for the actors and explain to them what it might look like, show them the boards, and then they act the scene.
Are they wearing the outfits that, or some? I mean, they're not in like green bodysuits.
No, they're wearing the outfits.
Oh, okay.
They're wearing the outfits. So you can just watch the episode, and it flows. They're just not in the environment.
How long does it take to like actually cut out a scene from this? To rotoscope, not to build everything else. I just mean literally just cut that thing out so you have that place to start.
We don't really cut. I mean, through the process, we build something that would be a mat that cuts out that background, but it's like just generated organically through the line work. So
Just tracing, just
tracing.
just the whole time, everybody. There's no like.
Oh, it's not okay. So it's not like it's brought in and then it's cut out and then it's.
Right,
I see.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
that-
artist drawing.
Right. So those mats are actually derived by artist drawing hand by frame by frame by hand. The outside silhouette of the character.
How long does that take?
So long.
We
6 weeks per episode.
Yeah. So 22 minutes is 6 weeks with a team of 20 animators.
Has anyone gone completely insane?
So in the more like surreal shots, do you get that footage live action where it kind of transitions from like the practical shot to the more surreal stuff?
It varied depending on the effect. Some of them were very much an afterthought, like, oh, this would be a neat thing here. And some of them were planned from the ground up and were in the script and were written. So it was, we kind of used the script as an inspiration to find places to put those surrealist kind of.
And then some of it's just straight up animated. You know, the part where the mom is sitting in the hospital room and she becomes a skeleton and then breaks down and becomes a baby and comes back to life. That's all straight up just animation. Just, you know, old school styles. And then if they can film stuff, they will. And if they can't, then we make it up.
For the folks working on this, favorite, oh shit, how am I going to do this moment? How am I going to draw my way out of this?
It was episode 7, probably.
The group shots were probably the hardest, but I mean, they were kept pretty short in duration.
How so?
Well, as animators, you're given shots, so you have a scene that's broken down into pieces. So you're not working on the whole scene, you're working on components, and each individual animator is working on an aspect of the character, and so characters are split. So somebody does head performance, somebody does body performance, and then it's all merged together. So you're able to just concentrate on just like a small aspect at a time, and largely when like you're in the pipeline of it, it just flows, and you just sit, you just do the work, listen to a podcast. So you're absorbing information while you're transmitting the emotional performance, and it all connects. So I think after like the first 6 weeks, when we all like we knew what we were doing,
Once we figured it out.
then it was just like, all right, we're just showing up, we know what we're doing, and it's just all happening. So I think like probably the oh shit moment just came from coordinating, getting all the shots to all the animators. That was probably like the biggest logistics issue, but the animation itself was pure joy.
Thanks, Justin.
How badly, or did this seep into your dreams at all? Because this feels like the kind of project that you don't leave in the office.
Well, I dreamt about it before I started the job.
Aww.
So when there was like a moment like halfway in the show, and I was animating, I was like, I had a dream about this like 3 years ago, that I would be here drawing Alma's face, and then it happened. So,
Whoa.
Yeah, creepy, but yeah.
Hey, can you dream about me sitting on a pile of money? Okay.
I'll work with it.
Episode 7 had a lot of like exciting feather costumes and things, and that was like an oh shit moment for us, for sure. But for Justin, I can see, and for Jimmy too, like anytime there's a lot of characters, you're just gonna be busting ass. Just more characters than you used to.
You know, I think my last question is for them, actually, which is really like, looking at that, you know, you spoke about how there are people that focus on heads, focus on bodies. Do you have, who's the best at the eyes? Who's like? Do you have your favorite part? Do you have your favorite?
Oh,
thing
girl.
You know, I can't do that for politics, but what was nice though is the wedding scene, Jimmy and I did the bodies, and Jimmy did the head. So I did the bodies, she did the head for the wide shots.
Huh.
So that was probably like one of the funnest shots, because like they're very long. So that's where it gets complicated, is when you're at a shot that goes over 60 frames, and so anything in the 100 frame range, which is like 13 seconds or so, it takes days to do. But when you have like good teammates and you know, like, you trust each other's lines, you know, it's just gonna all like weld together perfectly in the end. And so it was all about like kismet pairings, right? So there was always like a good body person for a facial performance. And so we all just naturally settled into those groupings. Okay, I'll stop.
Aw, yay.
So this has been fascinating for me.
Thank you.
I very much appreciate the time. You know, I don't know, you know, the parts of the media scene that I, you know, have traditionally focused on, just because of my background, have been publishing or a little bit of the agency side, some marketing over here. I come from in journalism, newspapers, things like that, but my heart is in the animation, in the heavy creative world. How engaged are y'all with, you know, kind of the Austin media community writ large?
Less than we want to be, because we have been so busy.
Fair.
It's true, yeah, we get into a project and then it's a year until we can come up for air again.
You don't even see your friends, much less a chance to connect, which is why
With South by.
events like this are really important for especially for busy people, because you don't run into people because you're 60 hours in the studio. Yeah, that's the real kind of the catch.
Well, I'll make a deal with you. I will sign up for your newsletter if you sign up for my newsletter, which is mediaatx.org.
Okay.
Which is, I just cover kind of the media scene writ large. So definitely like the office gossip. Definitely send me stuff when you have it. But really, if you're looking for, you know, I'd love to plug you into other parts. I'd love to plug other parts into you.
We would like that too.
Did that come out? No, I stand by that comment.
No, it was fine. It was fine. Get your heads out of the gutter. Come on. We would like that too. I mean, obviously, we would love to know more media folks. Craig and I have been working here in Austin for a really long time. I started making film here in 2001, so it's been a minute. But the community changes, people move, people come, and you know, and the mediums that we're working in changes too. And so it's, you know, yes, I would like to know more.
It's Austin's moment.
Yeah.
And it's going to take all of us to, you know, make sure that maintains.
Yeah, let's all be part of it. Let's rise each other up.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before you guys go, so when we do this fall event, we're going to get in the habit of handing out what I'm calling signals, but we want to call out kind of excellent things that are happening in town and encourage more excellent things. And the work that you guys are doing is so cool, and we're thankful that there's just awesome stuff coming out of Austin. And,
thank you so much. It's really nice.
So this animates. So if you plug it into the AR app that all of those posters are using, and there's a sample one on the table over there, so you should go point the phone at it. Yeah. So here, we'll turn on the light so you can see it, and it should trigger.
Again, y'all, it's just totally dirty. You can't see it, but it's super filthy.
Porn is media.
It's really.
Don't judge.
It's the
a big
biggest.
gold star, y'all. That's awesome.
So we got a Lone Star State. So, anyways, thank you so much for coming out and joining us, and thank you for doing so many cool things.
Well, thank you. Thank you. you for supporting Austin Animation.
You're welcome. So we've got 4 more little awards that I'd like to give out. But we're going to have some cocktail time afterwards, so just hang out and talk. Thank you so much, you guys.